This was not just a lewd conversation. This wasn't just locker room banter. This was a powerful individual speaking freely and openly about sexually predatory behavior.
These are lies being pushed by the media and the Clinton campaign to try and keep their grip on our country. They are all false. They're totally invented.
First Lady Michelle Obama at a campaign stop for Hillary Clinton denouncing Donald Trump's crude past comments about women and allegations being brought forward. Another one this morning as the Republican nominee pushes back, claiming the system is stacked against him. We're back now with the panel. What potentially, Joe, breaks through here as we get ready for this debate moderated by our own Chris Wallace that changes dramatically the trajectory of this race?
I think the only thing is Donald Trump. If I were him, ask for forgiveness, say you're sorry, and then say to the country, we've got 23 days to talk about the real issues.
Joe, you've just seen him campaign for day after day.
Yeah,
do you really think that...
That's why I don't have a problem giving him this advice on air. But that's what I would do. I don't think he'll do it. This is going to be about, does he continue to try to drive his base? And it's just not big enough with what he's driven away. And he's got to get people to take another look at him.
Monica.
Donald Trump's whole rationale for getting into this race was, I don't need this job. I'm rich, I have a successful business and a great family. I am doing this for the American people and the future of the country. That's what he needs to focus on in this final debate. He's got to prosecute the case against Mrs. Clinton, point to the wreckage of the Obama-Clinton economy and foreign policy, and say, we tried it your way. And then in the wake of all these Wikileaks disclosures, put her on the defensive and say the media was colluding and still is colluding with your campaign to protect your candidacy. You're being tipped off as to the FBI investigation. There was collusion in terms of obstructing justice on the Benghazi emails. You knew that Qatar and Saudi Arabia were funding ISIS, and yet the Clinton Foundation was still taking tens of millions of dollars from these countries. If he's able to reset the campaign by laying out his positive agenda and then putting her on the defense, he has a fighting chance.
Jen, you know, we've been covering the WikiLeaks substance here on Fox in pretty significant detail. There's a ton of it coming every day. What would have to drop in there that would be big enough to change the dynamic of this race? I mean, obviously there are big things that have been out already, but big enough that it breaks through.
Well, I think that's the trouble in covering the WikiLeaks emails, because there are about 1,000 coming out each day, is that they aren't breaking through. It's a drip, drip, drip. And I think what you will see Hillary Clinton do tomorrow night is she's going to change the subject. She's going to be talking about the Russian involvement in the hacking. That's why you saw Mike Morell come out on Friday, the former acting CIA director, and say that it is chilling that the Russians would be involved in our election. That is going to be her pivot point throughout the debate tomorrow night. But what's important is I don't think that Donald Trump will be contrite. He's going to be on offense. And our own Fox News poll shows that if he gets 90% of the Republican voters, that's still only 30 of registered voters, that's still only 32% of the vote. That's not enough. He has to appeal to independents and to women, and he's not doing that right now. That's not the tone.
But Charlie, if, let's say, another shoe drops and we start seeing Hillary Clinton deleted emails from the 33,000, or, I mean, what is the thing that is so explosive that it changes it?
If it's a WikiLeaks thing, it's going to have to be something huge, because while Fox has covered it very fairly and aggressively, it's you know, the rest of the media simply has not covered it, and it would have to be something so big that it shames the media into covering it forcefully. But what I think is sort of interesting about all of this is that, you know, Donald Trump has run this this cowboy campaign talking about a rigged system and how you know, there's corruption behind the scenes. All the while, these WikiLeaks, you know, have sort of demonstrated that actually he has a pretty good point about all of it, and it's proving his point. And if he is able in the debate to do, and I think he's done a very, very good job in the first two debates. I know I'm in the minority on believing that, but even in the first one. But if he can come back to that and just focus on the issues and focus on you know, proving that his point that it's rigged and that it's, you know, everybody's corrupt and all that kind of stuff, and stay away from the personal attacks. You know, this he's got good footing.
There's a lot of ifs there. And obviously there's some people who say that the rigged talk is dangerous in the long term. But, you know, it's worked to fire up his base. Quickly, Joe, I talked with the local reporters about the Senate and the balance of power. House not in play, do you think?
No, I don't think so.
But the Senate is precarious for Republicans.
I think the House is getting more precarious, but not likely to go. The Senate, I think, goes to whoever wins the presidency. If these polls are right, and Hillary Clinton is winning in the majority of these swing states where there's Senate races, I think that the Democrats are going to win those seats, and probably enough of them that the Democrats take the majority.
Joe, Monica, Jen, Charlie, thank you. Gorgeous view here in Vegas, isn't it? Place your bets. Thank you.